All right, guys, we got Landon here, man. And he says, hey, man, I'm here. You want to do something?
Let's do it. Come on.
I'm like, what you want to do? Tim, you've now ran and managed quite a few businesses. What's the one thing that you learned that could help him in the stage he's in today? What's that?
What stage are you in today?
I'm a senior in college.
That's the stage you're in, like mentally?
Mentally, I feel like I'm in a good state, but I'm just looking towards the future, you know, trying to get everything lined up.
Have you written down what you want?
I've got kind of a brainstorming sheet with the things that I want and how to get there. Yeah.
Okay. And you got a roadmap to get there? Do you have a clear understanding of where you are now?
I do.
Have you written down where you are?
The exact steps, probably not. No. But I have basically a brainstorming sheet where I have kind of what I want, what I have.
So you know how you like walk into my office like the last day you're here every time, and then you're like, hey, do you got a second to talk? and where do you, I want to know where you see me, and I'm like, hey man, like you should have set something up so we can talk about this, because this isn't a 5-minute chat. If you brought that paper on where you are now, where you want to be, and what you think you need to do to get there, that gives us something to talk about. Yeah. Versus just like, hey man, what are you thinking? You know, where because we're still figuring out even what we need for the new place.
Yeah.
And as it gets closer next year, who we need to hire, what positions, how many people, who's going to manage those people. So we're still figuring all that out. So if you're clear on one spot that you're passionate about, it would help me to know that, because then we can start grooming you for that position to see if you're a good fit for that, because you should have a leg up on everybody else knowing what you know here.
I think part of where I have issues trying to figure out what exactly I want to do is like kind of what you were saying, is we don't have everything lined up right now. So it's hard for me to think of a position.
Yeah, but do everything then. Do every position that we have here.
Yeah.
And then you not only learn the business, but you learn what you like, what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're not good at.
But the question I like that you asked was just like, do you really know where you're at? And that's a hard question for adults to answer at times. Tim had to know where he was at to start this. I had to know where I was at to I can help any business communicate. Like there's no doubt in my mind I can walk in with enough curiosity and change someone's marketing trajectory using social media. I'm too curious and I'm too animated. I know every part of myself to bring the best out in people. So in your case, if you don't know where you're at, then it's hard to be like, you can do everything.
I guess I might just be having trouble defining where, how do you define where somebody's at? Is that financially, spiritually,
all the above?
Yeah.
That's fun. It's fun.
So it's tough. It's tough when you put me on the spot.
Here we go. He told me he was ready. Now I told him. I said, "Look, are you sure?" Before the camera came on.
But you know what I'm saying. That's a long answer if you really want to get into that.
What I like about Landon is that he doesn't have it all figured out, nor should he at this point.
At all.
But he's willing to say, all right, hey, let's do a video. Knowing that, he's going to get exposed a little bit.
Yeah. That's the point.
He's going to be the butt of a couple jokes, but that's good though. Him doing that and doing this, that gives him more clarity than if he just would have said, oh no, all right, see you next week, Trevor.
No, and mind you, I told him that too. I said, 2 years from now, I told you that off camera. You look back at this and you'd be glad that we had this conversation. You have a point of reference to be like, oh, that did help.
The more times you can say yes to stuff that either makes you uncomfortable or you're not even sure what to do yet, that trains you and prepares you. It kind of thickens up your skin a little bit to where other people will say no. Most people will say no, I'm not good at that. I don't want to do it. And it's like, yeah, you're not good at it because you don't do it.
Yeah. That's definitely why I'm doing this. I would not be comfortable with doing this at all. The first you know,
Didn't
few
you
months
say
to
you
a
were like
year
going to
being
start
here.
your own
I
like
know,
channel
he
or
said,
something?
I said, later, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, anybody could do it. I was like, all right.
Yeah, and then I
Did
got
you
in front
start
of the
it?
camera and I was like, man, I don't feel passionate about this at all. Like,
Hey, well, that's getting clear on what you want.
yeah.
So
I mean, at
either
least
you-
I tried.
So it's
you
either
know?
you weren't clear on what you wanted, or you were clear and then you're telling yourself like, oh, I'm not actually passionate about it as a way out.
Yeah, the motivations were probably not aligned there. And I realized that if I'm going to do something like this where I'm on my own putting a camera in front of my face, then it's got to be something I'm passionate about, or I'm not able to show that.
Yeah, or surround yourself with the right people, because I'm not the guy to do that either. But I just happen to run into him, and then him, and they always have a camera in my face.
Yeah.
So then you don't even think about it anymore.
It's an afterthought, and mind you, it's not passion. You're gonna get to a place where you have to cross over, and I don't do the dog stuff or anything. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to drink some whiskey today. I'm like, I love good business. I love good people. I love learning. I think people need to learn. I love value. My biggest thing is, how can I add value? If I can't add value, I remove myself. So I'm like, man, this guy really knows what he's doing, and I think he's got a great team, and I'd love to be a part of it. How can I add value? I know this is annoying. I hate the camera. I've literally told him. He had the other, like, what are you doing? At my house. Get out of my face. I don't want the camera. Like, it's always on. So I'm like, dude, I don't want to be bothered today. It's not something you do for fun, but it's necessary evil. And you can't be great and not do all the things that, like, if it just worked out because it was like, oh, all you got to do is this. That's not how this works.
So here's something that you could do to add value for the next month that you're here.
Okay.
So you know we want to elevate our customer service, and there's several new things we want to implement when we move. So you could get very laser focused on customer service and exceeding expectations, and I could give you a couple books to read, but there's also a couple people that you could just follow online, and in our Tuesday meetings like we just did today, you could come with your biggest takeaway for that week that we could implement at the new deal from a customer service standpoint.
Yeah.
Because I've got several of them, but that would be good. We all really need to be obsessed with the
experience.
guest experience.
Yeah.
And when we're all surrounded by like-minded people that care about that, then when anybody walks in, they are just like overwhelmed with how great our staff is and how much we care and how many times they were greeted and how many times they were asked if they could get anything else or freshen up their water or any of that stuff. That goes a long way, and that's going to be one of the things that separate us from every other business.
Period.
And it's a must. Like, it's a must.
I remember the first time hearing you say, what we want is world-class service, and that has stuck in my head. I'm constantly thinking, okay, is this world-class service? But it's also like, I definitely want to learn, okay, what exactly does that entail, and how do we do that with our resources?
Yeah, so everybody has an expectation when they go to any bar, restaurant, distillery. There's always some expectation. So even the people that have a pretty high expectation, you still have to exceed that. And how are you going to do that? And at the new place, I mean, it might be something as simple as seeing somebody that has a cocktail, but the big ice cube chunk is melted, and that's watering down their drink, and saying, hey, can I refresh this for you, instead of like somebody like bringing something else and like just topping it off. I mean, you're getting a whole new drink. You're refreshing the ice and freshening up the drink, and like there's several different things that you can do to exceed their expectations, to do things that take a little bit more time, a little more effort, but people aren't expecting it.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm looking forward to at the new place.
And I think it'd be fun for even you to put kind of like how you want customers to. I've learned a lot from just being around, because I don't like talking to people. A lot of mess. I don't want to talk to nobody like that. We should be talking. But knowing that I now also represent something bigger than myself, even with the dogs. In my head, it was just this, and that's not true. They all need me to be more of things I didn't sign up for. But then you ask yourself, am I going to be less or better? Am I going to do more or do less? I don't know how to do less. I'm going to crack the code, right? So I love that you have that thing, which then helps you outline your values. And then you think about what Tim does really well and how you can make sure those values are always, from the minute somebody at the door, if somebody walks in, it feels like Tim's here. And when he's not here, I try to make sure too, because people recognize me, they know the face, so I don't, instead of me walking my head down, I walk in, what I do, I shake everybody's hand, I talk to them all, things I would never do. Back in there, I'd be like,
or even if you're behind the counter in the gift shop and you see somebody park and you know you're there to help them, and you see them walking in, so instead of just standing there and like greeting them when they walk in, like go around, open the door for them, greet them there, and get them in, and then walk back around.
Yeah.
Like little things like that, I think matter a lot.
We do it every time I see Chance pull up. Same thing at my house. I go out and help Chance if I see him. Any other guys, like, need any help?
You didn't open my door.
I didn't know you was coming. I know the time frames in which people are showing up. Point is, man, Landon's a guy who has an admiration and is inspired to be a part of the Whiskey Blendery's story. Beauty about this story, like any business, is untold. It's not written, it's not stone, it's not etched in stone. And none of us really know what we don't know. What we do know is it's gonna take a lot of work.
And there's going to be ups and downs.
Oh.
So don't let the downs keep you down,
Yeah.
because those are just learning experiences. If you don't have any constructive criticism or things that go wrong, you have no way to learn. So use those as learning opportunities, and even if it's like, oh man, yeah, I didn't get to talk to Tim. We didn't really nail down like where he sees me. Like don't focus on those things. Focus on where you can add value and what you've learned and what you're going to do and what you're going to bring back to the table. But also try to get clear, because you've come back and you've said, hey, I got these ideas, and they were all good ideas, but we had already implemented those. So it's good to have that dialogue on like, hey, what do you think? Do you think this is good, or what's lacking on this or that? Because I mean, there's 10 plus things that I just don't have the bandwidth to do right now that all need to get done before we transition.
Yeah. And guys, if you're out there too, you know, this is a young man on a business journey, on a business route. He's literally working inside of the business. Tim's now ran quite a few businesses. I've been a part of a lot of business journeys, any of my own. None of us know shit. And there's no school to prepare you for it. The wins, the losses, the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the great moments. All you can do, as Tim said, is stay focused, and the most important thing is show up. The dumbest thing people do is give up. It's like, show up. I knew that if I show up 99.9% of the time, I'm already winning. Because I can figure out how to survive. But if you don't show up, you literally don't know. And then ask him as many questions as he has capacity for. But another thing people don't do, talk to the boss. If you have that direct line, somebody says, oh, I'm gonna figure it out. No, you're not. Just ask me. Because it's easier to get you there than for me to go back and solve all the stuff you thought was right.
Yeah, it depends what it is.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the Shopify platform or whatever. Like, I don't want to be the one training you on that, because we've got other people that know it very well that can also train you on it. Mm-hmm. So you stepped in because one person's not here today to try to figure it out, but also be conscious that you can also change things that offer negative value that we need to fix or do damage control to. So it's good to know what you're changing and take notes or take a video, so then you can reference it back.
Yeah.
And then learn from somebody later this week that when it's a slow time, but give them a heads up. Like, be respectful of their time and say, hey, yeah, can I get 30 minutes of your time to show me how you create these buttons and how you put the one maximum on this, and then take a video of that. Okay, now can you watch me? Let me do the next one. You watch me. So if you've heard the SOS model, show, observe, shape. So show the person what to do, then you observe them doing it, and then you shape it.
Look, and that's a good way to close this video, guys. Well, if you see Landon in the future and he's running the Blender, it's because he had the intent to be of value, and he was just trying to figure out where his place was. Once you define what those skills are, there's a book called Strength Finders as well. A lot of times we focus on what we're not. So all you've said at times is what you're not good at. I used to think I wasn't good at communication, but the truth is I'm the only person that everybody would say made the most sense. Like, Jeff, you know, you make the most sense. You're super clear all the time. I'm like, this probably is a value. To a lot of
Anything to add, Coach?
If it's like education, take a big chunk of that stuff they're teaching you in school and throw it out the window.
Jerry said, hey, fuck you and fuck them. Until next time, people.